Stress management. I've been today. I'd like to share more of my professional, the work I do with healing in the hospital. Um, my focus is on teaching about stress management. And I think one of the barriers is that when most people hear the word stress, what comes to mind is like problems, worries, tension, pressure, things like that. But when you look into the science, especially work that was done in the 60s and 70s, we see something else, and that's change. Stress really comes from change. Even good changes can cause stress. And you think of something like Christmas, the holidays, a wedding, having a child, a grandchild, moving, retirement, or starting a new job. Good, but the change can cause stress. Now, another little barrier that I see is a truth that some people actually thrive on stress. And, you look at a firefighter, someone in the military, police officer, ambulance driver, individuals that can have high stress every day and love it. It's what they do. Thank goodness. If I'm in trouble, I want that firefighter to thrive on stress. I want that emergency room doctor to thrive on stress. Well, whether you love stress or you hate it, the common ground is that stress is physical. It sends powerful chemicals into the body, and it affects a person. And usually when you think of stress in the body, you think of things like muscle tension, pain, blood pressure going up, stomach acid up, blood sugar for someone who's diabetic. Stress affects the body, but it affects the mind and emotions. And sometimes I feel a person's like a cup of water. When our cup is filled with stress, you add one more thing and it's overflowing. And so you can see that with the emotional, perhaps the easy to anger, easy to be frustrated, anxiety. Stress over a period of time can contribute to depression. Mental effects, you might see that trouble concentrating. There's this term mental drift. I've spoken in the hospital to nurses, and I had an individual share, it's like she leaves the floor and then walks to her car and doesn't remember that walk. It's just the mind is on that automatic mental drift. So with that, you can see an increase of mistakes or errors can happen, or accidents can happen with an increase of stress. Stress affects the mind, the body, and emotions, and I'll go so far as to say it can affect a person spiritually. You can see that loss of faith, long-term belief systems that are challenged, individuals that question where are you, God, or why me, or that kind of isolation. But I think spiritually, one of the key elements, whether someone is actually spiritual or not, is the loss of hope, loss of meaning, loss of purpose in life. I would call these spiritual manifestations of stress. So in terms of this idea of compassion and action, I'm focusing a little more today on self-care and taking care of ourselves. Now, I know that there's this one message out there that you can't help other people until you help yourself. You've heard that?
Yeah.
I don't believe it, because every day at the hospital, I can see single parents who are there taking care of their patients. They're going home that evening taking care of their family. They're maybe volunteering at the church on the weekend. They're giving a lot. The challenge can be when you give, there's that wall you hit, and what about me? And so what I feel that the toughest stress management is this idea of taking care of ourselves, doing things to help ourselves. Because when you think of it, it can be easier to give to others, harder to let people give to us. Am I right or wrong with that? Easier to take care of someone else, maybe harder to do something for ourselves. So I feel that it's almost like lifting weights. It's easy to lift 5 pounds. It's hard to lift 50. It's easier to give to others, harder to take care of ourselves. What can take more strength? Taking care of ourselves, doing things for ourselves. That idea that if a person's like a cup of water, what stress management, compassion, and action can do is like empty out some of the stress so that when our cup is getting full, we're able to empty it. Or it's getting full, starting to overflow, a way to quickly let out some of the stress. And one of the main techniques I teach, I phrase it like this. Everybody tells a person, relax, don't worry, but they never tell the person how.
Right.
And if I can be a witness for thousands of patients in the hospital, hearing words like, relax, don't worry, breathe, it makes it worse. It makes it worse. So what I like to do is teach people how to relax and how to decrease worry. Notice I didn't say stop worrying. That's impossible. You know, as a nurse, I get paid to worry. When I was doing oncology 3 to 11, working on the cancer unit, you could have asked every one of my patients, do you want John to worry about you tonight? If the patient didn't say yes, you know the family member sitting in the chair would have said, yes, worry about my dad. Yes, worry about my wife. So that sense of, I get paid to worry. The challenge is, it's impossible to stop it. But here's the skill, to quiet it down when you need to or turn it off when you want to. How to quiet it down, how to turn it off when you need to. That's the skill. And in this, working with thoughts is very fascinating. We've kind of come up with 3 different types of thoughts that add to stress. One type is worry. My favorite worry thought begins with 2 words. Anybody know what they are? What if? Yes. 2 words, but aren't there 1,000 sentences that can come after that? What if, what if, what if? All these what if thoughts. Another type of thought that adds to stress is called rumination. Going over something again and again and again that happened in the past, kind of reliving it, going through that stress again and again. Another type of thought that adds to stress is judging and self-criticism. It's said we can be meaner to ourselves with our thoughts than we would ever be out loud to another person. So these thoughts I'm proposing add to stress. And so the idea of how to quiet it down, how to turn it off. The technique that I'd like to teach you all is what we're going to actually use in the meditation. So when we get to the meditation, if there's a practice that you're already doing and you feel anchored in with, fine. But otherwise, I'd love you all to give this technique a try and experiment. There's 3 parts. Part 1 I call soft belly breathing. Now, a mistake I feel some people make is they'll say, take a deep breath. Well, when you think about it, every cell in our body wants us to breathe. And if you don't believe me, hold your breath. Your body will tell you, breathe. So our body wants to breathe. Also, since we've been in this room, we're all breathing 16 to 20 times a minute. We just don't feel it. So with relaxation breathing, you don't need to breathe deep, nose, mouth, doesn't matter. Go what's comfortable. All you need to do is aim your breath towards your belly. And so one way of learning that is to take one hand, rest it on your abdomen, and then without work or effort, aim the breath towards the belly and the hand. So what do you begin to notice as you breathe in? The belly rises. As you breathe out, the belly falls. Again, not a deep breath. I teach this to people day 1 of major abdominal surgery, If I went to that patient and said, take a deep breath, forget it. That would be the end of our session right there. But hand on the belly, soft breath. You feel that rise and fall. What's happening physically? Your lungs fill with good air, presses down on the diaphragm, causing the belly to rise. So as we breathe like this, our body is getting the message, safe. Stress starts to go down with our control going up. When you think of stress breathing, I see two types. One is the short and quick. The other, especially with pain or frustration, holding the breath. Both of those in the present moment signal the body, danger, danger, danger. The stress is going up, but then your control goes down. I've done a little class for people waiting for lung transplants, high levels of oxygen, carrying their tanks with them. And so I've used this idea of the hand on the belly. I say this is a way to catch your breath when you need to. When we were young, you toss me a ball, I catch it, that motion in my hand. So today, hand on the belly, breathe to the hand, you're catching your breath because the hand only moves after your lungs fill with good air. So that'll be part one of the relaxation. Everybody's good with that? Great. Part two, feel the support of the chair. And if you're doing this at home before sleep, feel the support of the bed. Let your body be heavy. Let the bed or chair hold you. I think I've discovered the biggest stress of all. I've seen I've stopped counting, over 30,000 patients in the hospital, people dealing with some of the biggest stresses that life has. And the biggest stress of all, in my opinion, is when someone is waiting and not knowing, being in that limbo. I've had people say to me, John, even if it's cancer, at least I would know. The waiting is driving me nuts. Waiting, not knowing. I've had people say, even if it's AIDS, at least I would know. The waiting is driving me nuts. Then one Friday afternoon, a 40-year-old woman said to me, John, even if it's hospice, going home to die, at least I would know. The waiting is driving me nuts. So, waiting and not knowing is the biggest stress. Well, where does the mind want to go? To the future. All the what ifs, all the if onlys. But where is the stress? In the present moment. So, by working, by dealing with the stress in the present moment, you will have energy no matter what happens. So, how to do this? Part two of the technique, the idea that in the hospital, you can see people like this every day. When are they coming in here? What's that test going to show? I wish I could get out of it. Can you see the stress? Yeah. But what's this going to do to my headache? Make it worse. Yes. What is this going to do to my sleep tonight? Not happening. But if the nurse is at the door, relax, John. That makes it worse too. But instead, I've learned how. The idea, feel the chair, let the chair hold you. A feeling of warm, heavy, soft, and ease through the body. Everybody good with that? Great. Now, the one little caveat is when we're sitting in the chair, I love how people's body postures are now with the head up. Sometimes they'll be like this, and I get concerned that their neck might get a little sore. So just your body posture is great, just the way you are. So, part three of the technique. Take a short, positive thought. Think those words on purpose again and again and again. I've been going up to Harvard to get some of the, every other year, to get the latest research on mind-body healing. And last year they were talking about the brain and stress. They said our brain weighs 3 pounds, normally uses 30% of our body's energy. But when stress goes up, complicated health problems, life changes, the brain is working harder and harder, up to 40, even 50% of the body's energy. And if you've ever been exhausted when you haven't done much physical, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right. The brain is working hard. So part 3 of the technique, focusing on a certain short positive thought, allows the brain an opportunity to rest. How does it do that? By the key to our technique. During the relaxation time period, as soon as you notice other thoughts, whether it's one thought later or 5 minutes later, kindly let go of that thought, gently return back to the relaxation words. Don't judge the other, oh, you might, but the teaching is don't judge the other thoughts, don't analyze the other thoughts, don't criticize the other thoughts. That is the front part of the brain just working hard. We're going to rest the brain by kindly letting go, gently coming back. Now, in the hospital, I do a spiritual assessment with people. I guess I don't have to do that here, but it's interesting. Let me share it with you. I say to people, is religion or spirituality important to you? For some it is, and for some it isn't. How about you? So in asking that question 30,000 times or more, I tell you I get 4 answers. One answer is yes. Another answer is, I don't go to church, but I believe in God. A third answer is, I'm not sure about God, but I think there's something spiritual or a higher power. And the fourth answer is, no. So, with the relaxation words, if spirituality is important to you, I would recommend use a spiritual thought for your relaxation words. A couple examples, God is with me. That's the most popular one at the hospital right now. God is with me. Another example, the Lord is my shepherd. Another example, God is helping me. I had a couple patients that have said they wondered about the words, God help me. God help me, God help me, God. Where this idea of God is helping me is more present, more, I guess it's the truth too, it's the truth. Present moment, God is helping me, more receptive to that. So, and just to kind of complete the teaching, if a person said religion wasn't important to them, and maybe someone here, an example of a phrase could be, I can do this, or easy does it, or I am getting better. So, everybody's good with the 3 steps. Soft belly breathing, body relaxation, thinking a short positive thought over and over again, kindly letting go of other thoughts, returning back to the relaxation. So, let's give it a try. We'll take a few minutes now, and I'll spend just a minute with the breathing. I'll do just a gentle relaxation through the body. I highly recommend choosing your relaxation words now before you begin, so you don't spend the whole time trying to figure them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a phrase you're comfortable with. Okay, is everybody good? Any questions on the technique? Okay, well let's give it a try. So we'll begin this time of relaxation, if you're comfortable, letting your eyes gently close. and starting to notice your soft belly, soft breathing. Feeling the gentle rise of your abdomen as you breathe in, feeling the gentle fall of your abdomen as you breathe out. Right now, there is no place to go, nothing at all to do. Just simply being here. Being here with the experience of your breath, and being here with the sense of relaxation. One of the ways of feeling relaxation is to notice the support of the chair, the support of the floor, and for now, allowing the chair, allowing the floor to do all the work. A softening and easing. Perhaps a feeling of warmth, of heaviness. Gentle relaxation throughout your body. As we finish this gentle relaxing through the body, silently to yourself, repeating your relaxation words. Quietly thinking your positive thought again and again. And again and again. Each time you notice your mind wander, kindly letting go of the thought, gently return to your relaxation words. soft belly breathing, your body well supported, and remembering your relaxation words. Letting yourself again notice your breathing, feeling the air coming in, feeling the air going out. We'll go ahead and we'll end this time of meditation by letting yourself take a couple soft breaths. And you can wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Even if you're not totally ready, opening up your eyes.